Okay. Yeah, again, good day class. So this is another week, and so for our agenda today, this will be what we'll be talking about. First to be, we do some recap from what we did during last class. Then we talked about Artifactory and what Artifact is. Then we go to distributed Jenkins architecture and try to understand what that means. Then collaboration in DevOps, which is also very important thing to know, and some of the tools we use for collaboration in DevOps world. Then we're going to do introduction to Microsoft Teams, which I believe most of us already signed up, and we'll show you around, and how we can do some integration with Jenkins from them. Then we're going to do lab, of course, lab, and then do all those integration stuff with Jenkins. Again, this will be our last class for Jenkins. We've been building our pipeline. Remember how the pipeline look like. Don't forget all the integration. At first we integrated Maven with it, which we use to build our code. Then after that, we integrated Tomcat. We deploy our code to Tomcat. We integrated SonarQube to scan the code and give like if there's any bug, if there's any error in the code, or if there's any duplicate or some security problem that the developer may have included in the code. So SonarQube again is very, very powerful tool, and we integrated it with our Jenkins to do the continuous code scanning. Yeah, so again, that's by the way. So we talked about artifact management last week, which is also the same thing as an artifact repository, which is an application designed to store, version, and deploy artifacts for build. And we talked about some of the artifacts, common artifacts. We have like the .war file, the .jar file, and all those stuff. So after you build your application, after developer write the code, they put it to like GitHub, then you build it from Jenkins. So after building it, that's when you build it and you package it. That's when you get an artifact. And we thought that you can deploy the artifact directly and you can store it somewhere. Where we store it is what they call Artifactory or artifact management, and which we use JFrog Artifactory for last week. Then we store it there, and we can do a lot of things with those artifacts. We can download it. Another team, again, these are collaboration environment where a lot of team work together. A lot of developer, but in different teams. So this one we build an application, then you see the artifacts. They can do a lot of things. They can do testing with the artifact. They can just play around with it, or just store it for reference purpose. Maybe in the future they need certain version. It's very important concept to really understand. Then we say artifact management also are used to store, organize, and distribute artifacts, which are also called binary. Sometimes, those are binary for the code, and then, they are that's after they package the code. What happens when they write the code, it's human, you can read it, human language, that's what they use to write code, maybe in Python, maybe in Java, or any language. Those are human language. Computer cannot read that. So you need to build the code, do the building before computer will be able to read it. So after you build it, that's when you get the artifacts. And those are all binary in some cases. It will be like 1010, it's a lot of jargons, you never understand it. So they call it blob. So those are what they call artifacts, and those are what we store and what we deploy to like Tomcat or any environment that you want to see the application. Then we talk about JFrog Artifactory. I mentioned that JFrog is very popular with the other one they call Nessus, and again, if you know one, you are good. You don't need to stress about everything. And then we launched JFrog last week. We install it on the Ubuntu server. Then we access it from port 8082. So yeah, JFrog is very popular, and it does a good job in automation. So then today, what I would like to talk about, unfortunately, I'm not really going to do a lab on this. I mean, I can do it, but I don't really plan to do it because there are so many concepts of AWS that we need to know to really implement this, like role and policy, all those stuff. But the main thing is just understand the concept of distributed architects in Jenkins. So what we've been doing so far, if you remember, we launched Jenkins on an instance on AWS server. Then we do every process there. We build the application, we do everything. If you go into the server where we are running the Jenkins, you see all whatever we build will be stored in that server. So in the real world, you don't want to do that because you are working with a lot of team, different projects. It can be up to like 30 of them, 40 or 50. So it could be a lot of projects they are working on. So you don't want to be building on the same server every time, because the server will be overwhelmed. And at some point, some team, they use different operating system. Now we use Ubuntu for our Jenkins master. In some distance, they may have a team, they may have separate team that are building application based on maybe Windows server or whatever. So you may want to build that on a separate server. But mainly how distributed architecture works is that you have a Jenkins server which will control everything, which they call Jenkins master. Then it will have what they call slave. Although they've deprecated the name slave, now they call it agents. So Jenkins master, then you have Jenkins agents. So the agents will be like, okay, Jenkins master will basically control the agent. Will be like, okay, you build this job, all the building process will be done on this server. So you can do a lot of things with it, or based on different team or operating system. If you see the picture right here, you see the slave. This Jenkins master have 3 different. These are operating. This could be EC2 on AWS. It could be just a server, any server. You see this says Mac operating system. You can connect it with the Jenkins master, and when you run your pipeline or when you run build, Jenkins will only coordinate the process. All the build process will be done on this slave, which they also call agents. So all the build process will be done there, and you're not going to over stress the master, because what happens is that in the team, in the company, it's not like it's not like everybody will have their own Jenkins running. It doesn't work like that. You only have one Jenkins master in most cases, maybe 1 or 2, just that everybody will access. You have credential to log into that Jenkins and do whatever you want to do there. Another DevOps guys can log in to the same Jenkins, and so it's a lot of things going on that server. So you don't want to. You are trying to like remove some of the load, especially the build process. I remember when I was working on a project, I think I shared that on the Jenkins master, although it's a personal project. So then I was building all the container. I was using a container, Docker container. Each image, whenever I build the code from Jenkins, the size is up to like maybe 250 something megabytes. It's a lot. It's very big. So each time I run the Jenkins pipeline, it will build another image, and they keep storing on my Jenkins master. Then at some point, I was out of memory and nothing could be done again. So and my Jenkins was throwing me error. Then I had to like log in SSH into the Jenkins server and prone it. They call it like prone, like delete all the images, remove all the images completely, because I don't really need them. I build the image, I already deploy it. So but the image keeps storing. Each time I build a new version, it keeps storing on the Jenkins master. So those are the reason why you need like all this architecture. And in real world, most cases, this is how they use it. They're not just going to be running a single Jenkins master, and master will be doing everything. So they will have node, they will have another agent, which they are also a server, then you connect it with the master, and the agent will be the one doing like the build process and stuff. So that's what the architecture is from high level. Maybe I can still work on the lab or whatever, I don't know. So, but Jenkins allow you to add multiple Jenkins slave under the central, the Jenkins server. So you can add multiple node or multiple agents. This Jenkins server is also known as Jenkins master. This Jenkins slave perform a different task according to the instruction given by the Jenkins master. So depending on how you set it up, you can say, okay, this EC2, I want you to build all the Java application that's running on Jenkins. This EC2, I want you to build a Python application. You can make all those settings, and it makes everything well organized, and you don't have to stress your Jenkins master, because again, Jenkins master is it has everything, and you don't want to mess around with it like that. So yeah, but that's the high level. Then comparing the masters and the agents. For the master, it does like the scheduling of job. That's where you do like, okay, this is how I want the job to be built. It dispatch build to the slave for the actual execution. It monitors the slave, it do monitoring, like, okay, know that if any slave is down or not, if any agent is down, it does that. Then recording and presenting the build results. And then a master instance of Jenkins can also execute build the same way we've been doing. We've been using the master instance of Jenkins to execute our job directly. It can also do that. The master instance can do that. Master server can do that. But in a distributed version, you want the job to be done by another server connected to Jenkins, maybe over SSH or whatever. So now for the slave part, for the agent part, it hears requests from the Jenkins masters. It accepts instruction from the Jenkins master. It runs, can run varieties of operating system. So the job of a slave is to do as they are told to, which involve executing build job dispatched by the master. You can configure a project to always run on a particular slave machine or a particular type of slave machine, or simply let Jenkins pick the next available one. You can do so many, configuration and a lot of things with that. So yeah, just understand, how the architecture works, especially distributed architecture. Again, encourage you to really, from the practical aspect, you may not really, the setup is not that complicated. You can just install some plugins and, allow Jenkins to just connect them together, share the SSH key, and do the configuration. And so that, just understand how they work. Because again, during an interview, you want to talk about all these things that, okay, this is how you ask a question, how do you run your Jenkins or the stuff? You run it in a distributed way, in a distributed architecture way, and then you have different nodes that do the build process. So again, no one will ask you to sit down and be doing that. So let's talk about collaboration in DevOps. We've been focusing a lot about, the tooling, the technical part of it, during interviews, during job, this thing, DevOps goes beyond tooling alone, goes beyond the technical part. There are cultures in DevOps, and that's why some of the podcasts I encourage you to be listening to. You learn a lot from them in terms of like, the culture. They will ask questions like, they will be talking about, okay, in your company, when you start implementing DevOps, what are the challenges? What are the best way? Trust me, I've heard that question a lot during my interview. These are not about Jenkins. They'll be asking you like, some cultural fit question, like how do you convince people to move to DevOps from the way they used to work before? All those stuff. They are very, jobs are very interested in it, because what happens is that a lot of companies they want to implement DevOps. They don't have a lot of people that can do it. So they are trying to bring someone that, have idea, knows things, and then have some experience in that field to help them do the implementation, like stuff like that. So, they ask all those like a more like soft skill question, all those collaboration, communication within team. Again, DevOps is coiled from the word development and operation. Collaborating together. So it's collaboration is a very, very key concept in DevOps practices. How you should let them know that okay, you make good communication with different teams, because in tech world there are so many teams, different people. There will be database team, there will be security team, there will be a lot of like different developers will be there. Those people writing code, you DevOps people will be there. A lot. So the ability to collaborate is very, very key in DevOps, and it's something that they emphasize a lot. How you interact with other people. You ask them about, especially developer. You want them, because you are working with their code. You are not writing the code where you are helping them to build their code through Jenkins or whatever. So the collaboration is very key in DevOps, and it's something you should definitely read about. Some of the popular collaboration tools out there. Slack. I'm sure some of you know about Slack. It's very similar to Microsoft Teams. We've been working on GitHub. This one is for code. Of course, for the to collaborate in writing code or script or whatever. These are very, very key. And the Jira tool is very important. You can maybe I will share some resources on Jira. Learn about Jira. It's very popular in the market, in the industry. It's more like project management tool, and they use it for collaboration as well. But it's different from team. So Jira is more like all those agile Scrum people. That's what they. So you can just have some basic knowledge on Jira, how it works. You don't really need to know deep like that. How to like create a user story, how to do some basic stuff. But Jira is very, very popular in the market for collaboration. This other two, I don't even know them. I won't lie. So that but the main thing we are going to Slack and the Microsoft team, they are like slash. They are like or. It's either this or this. So they don't. Of course, this almost every company will use GitHub or maybe Bitbucket or whatever. This for Git. Then Jira too does a different purpose. So the one I mentioned, the one I talked about that we're going to use today, and we just talked about it and show you how it works with the Microsoft team, which even my current company, that's what we use there to collaborate, to talk, and they do things together. So yeah, but and we are going to integrate it with Jenkins. You see how powerful some of these tools could be, especially in collaborating. So very Slack tool works very similar to Team. But again, you don't need to worry about if you know one of it, you're okay. I mean, there's nothing to really, it's just like a platform. I'm sure you guys see it already. Just chat, you can schedule a meeting there, you can do so many things there. So that's it. So Team, again, it's owned by Microsoft, it's very, very huge. It's a collaboration app that helps your team to stay organized and have conversation in, it's very, very powerful. I use it a lot at work every time. So some of the features, meetings, you can have meeting with it. In fact, all this Zoom that we're using, we can use Team to do our video call, and it's very share screen, do everything. So, in my company, we still have Zoom, of course, but we still use, sometimes for meetings, we use Team to do our meeting. So you can do group chats, you can add maybe 3 people, like we are about 7 now in the team, you can just create like a chat, more like a group chat, in this thing, then just add few people to just chat with. Maybe those people, they assign them to do something, maybe to install something on Jenkins, or, to do some, to write some this thing. So you guys can just collaborate on Team and just create like a group chat within just three of you and just, share information that, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. So integration, automation as well, you can integrate it with a lot of things, and it's very, very key. You see how we can use it with Jenkins, and Jenkins will notify us if once we build any application, once we run a job. So you can do voice and video calls there, just like Zoom. Yeah, it's very powerful. And then we go to the lab. So today we're going to do some just introduction on the user interface for Microsoft Team, and then integration of Team to the pipeline, which is Jenkins. Then we're going to do introduction to some AWS services. I'm adding this because next class we'll be going to Terraform, and Terraform is used to they call it infrastructure as a code. So we're going to use it to deploy some services on AWS. And I think it will be important for you guys to understand some of all those services before we get there, like AIM, then AMI, auto scaling, S3 bucket, everything. I'm sure some of you already preparing for AWS, you'll be familiar with some of all these things, like this AIM is very popular, for roles and policy and other stuff. So this is for image. I think Amazon manage image or something like that. AMI, then auto scaling, and there are a lot of them. Lambda. So we do some basic lab with some of all these things on AWS. Again, I always recommend learn cloud. On all those Udemy 100%, they are very helpful, but because we are moving to Terraform next class, and then I want you guys to really understand, because we'll be deploying some of all these services with Terraform. So I want you to understand what some of all these services are, so that you can follow along in the Terraform class. If you are studying for your AWS certification, you're not going to learn Terraform. So they're probably going to teach CloudFormation, and Terraform is more popular than CloudFormation. So that's why, they are both of them, they still go cloud, DevOps, everything comes together. Not all AWS services are being used like that in the market. Not all their services are popular like that. Some are very extremely popular, some are not that popular. So, but if you are learning, if you are preparing for certification, they will teach you AWS 100%. They're not going to teach you Jenkins. They're not going to teach you Terraform. They're not going to teach you Linux. It will be solely on AWS services. But you still need other skills to augment with it, and then get the stuff. So again, but this should be what we'll be doing in the lab today. And then quickly, let's get any question before we proceed to the lab. I don't know, can you guys see my Microsoft Team UI? I don't think so. Yeah, any question before we move to UI? Again, we're still going to do some overview on our Jenkins pipeline, where we are, again, just understand these things from at a high level. Don't stress too much on learning the code, on putting the code on your head. It's just understand it. Understand the stages in the Jenkins, different stages. Each stage has a step. In the step you can run like a shell script, or some custom this thing. Just understand some of all those. It's where the integration part, how we write this thing. So it's very key, guys. These are important concepts that we should it's very, very, very important. So again, I'm trying to just focus on what you guys need. There are so many things out there that you should learn. So, but I'm not going to make it okay. Yeah, any question before we move to the distance? Okay, so there's no question. Let me show my screen again. I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, thank you guys. Yeah, so yeah, today again, this is Microsoft Team, I'm sure. And I also encourage you guys to download it both on your phone and on your laptop too. You know, it's very, yeah. Then set it up on both your phone and your laptop. You know, you can see everyone that's online, you know. So what happened is that once you are done at work, what you just do is just come to the, you know, sometimes by 5 o'clock, I just come here, you know, I just put it to offline, appear offline. So if anybody send me message at work, I don't reply when it's 5 o'clock or whatever. So it's or just put it appear away, or you know, sometimes you can say busy. You can set your status there, and if anyone trying to reach out to you, they will say that you are busy. You know, they will see, or maybe you're offline. You know, you can put different message here. So yeah, but yeah, those are very. So one of the things I created this, I don't know if you guys were able to see it. So I created this channel. These are what they call channel. So you know, channel are like, you know, creating like a group where you can add people, and you know, for example, now maybe I have another team. I can just, if I come to this place, then I can say add channel, then I can name it any name. Maybe I have another team I'm working with, so I can isolate it. Then I will add specific people to that channel. Like for example, I can say because some of you have not paid or have not paid in full, so I can say paid members. So you know, I can create like a group like this. Again, in the real life, this would be different team. You know, different team, different kind of you know, maybe DevOps team. Within DevOps team, you have like another team. You know, focusing on different things. So you can create all these small distance. If you see my work distance like this. So yeah, I can say that, okay, private, accessible to only people I want. So, you know, I can add this. So any, then I can start by typing name. So I can add whoever I want to add here, maybe David. I can add David, I can add who again? I can add AY, I don't know, let me see. I can add our soldier right here. Then, you know, I can add few people and, you know, just make it, you know, just maybe those 2 people or whatever. So then those are the 2 people that we can talk on this platform. You know, I can send message to them. I can, you know, order, even though you are on team too, you'll not be able to see this at all unless I add you there. So, you know, you can create a lot of them like that. You know, we are talking of, you know, a company with like 70 people working in tech. You know, developers are there, security people, cyber security people are there, you know, project manager are there, different this thing. So they will have different channel where they will add them, you know, but you won't see it. You won't see cyber security as a DevOps guy. You won't see a channel for cyber security because they had their people alone there. You only see your DevOps and some few other channel that they want you to join. So, you know, it's very cool. You can do all those things. I created this. I'm sure if you guys click on your stuff, you should be able to see this DevOps team I created because I added everyone there too. So if I come to information here, you know, I can see all the members I added, you know, everybody. So to that, if I come here, you see I've not added anyone. No one is here. So none of you should be able to see this group. You know, if I want to add anyone, I come here, I add a member, you know, we can talk and then, you know, do everything. So these are very, very, you know, useful, and that's how it works. And another cool thing I would like to show is, you know, chat. You know, I can decide that, okay, I want to just chat with someone privately, you know, maybe Abiodun, this guy. Let me see. Okay. Now, if I go to chat, you know, then I can I can search for someone. Let me see, David. I can search for maybe David, then send him a message. This is a private message. Hello, I can do this. It's just a chat between myself and David. But in my this thing, I have a lot of them. So you want to like just send a message briefly to one person. I mean, most of us are familiar with some of all these tools we use. We can share files. You see all the files that we share. Then I will show you another. If I go back to team now again, you see this general. David responded, I looked down. Yeah, so if you go back to this thing, I think David added some folder yesterday, which is very key to why I say we should always try and this thing. If I go to file now under this channel, you guys can access this, everyone. If you go to files, you see we added like 2 files. I added, David created this file. I can create another file, add it here, or lab script. You can go to the script. You see the Jenkins file that was added, labs too. I added some lab there. These are how we use it. You can access a lot of information there directly. It's so cool. You can do so many things in it, and you can just send a link to someone. You can download them directly to your computer from here. Click on it, download. It will be downloaded to your. You can do a lot. If you click on this plus now, you can do a lot of cool stuff here too. Like integrate it with Excel. This is PowerPoint. These are Windows tools. Very, very powerful. See Adobe, a lot of things. That you can integrate with it. WebEx is a very popular this thing that is very similar to. You see so many tools that you can add with it, and then you can add Microsoft Word. Let me click on Microsoft Word. Create a Word file like doc. Let me just say hello doc or hello Word or whatever. So I can, I don't know, post. So it's asking which folder I want to put it. Put it here or whatever. But yeah, you can do a lot of things in team. It's very powerful. Again, we are just, I'm in files now. I can go back to post. I see what everyone is talking about. I can say, okay, welcome guys, or welcome guys. I can add anybody, the same way you use your Instagram and just call out someone. Just call out someone, and I don't know why it's putting guests on everyone. So it's very cool and very powerful. Then you will see. Then what I will show now is I will integrate it. For example, we are DevOps guys. So again, we have Jenkins server running. You want to know what is going on the Jenkins server. You want to integrate. You want to know whatever is going on there. Maybe Abe, because we are all from different organizations. Okay, thank you for that, David. So maybe Abe went to the Jenkins server to do something, to run like a job or anything, or a developer trigger a build on Jenkins. You can be notified directly from here. To automatically just notify that someone started the build. You will give the name of the person, then do everything. Then after the build was successful, it will tell you the build was successful or the build failed or anything. It will give you the real time what is going on in your Jenkins server, and you can integrate even GitHub with it too. So if you come here now, if I come to this place, add connector to this connector place, then you will see a lot of things we can add with it. Right now, we have Jenkins, which I have. You see Azure DevOps. It's also like a CI/CD tool with very powerful Azure DevOps. You can look into that if you like. Use this Bitbucket you can put there. You can attach a lot of things there, and real life it will give you updates. For example, if you go to GitHub now, and we integrate GitHub with it. This GitHub Enterprise anyway, not the free one we are using. So if I integrate this with it now, if anybody push a code to the GitHub, that again, it will be only one GitHub account everyone is using. It's not like you have your account. No, everyone will be using one GitHub. They just give you access to the repository that you have to work with. You just have access. So it's a collaborative job. So if someone push a code to the GitHub, you can get notified directly from team, with implementing stuff like this, and then you see that, okay, someone just push a code to GitHub or whatever. So you can do a lot of cool stuff with all these things. And so it's so today we're just going to integrate it with our Jenkins. So I will spin up my Jenkins server right now. I think this is my Jenkins server. Yeah, this is my Jenkins server. Let me turn it on. Let me start the instance. And then it will take some time. So, but to do the integration, what you have to do is, you do, again, we want to integrate people in the general channel. Again, it's channel by channel. You don't want to integrate, notify everyone on team. Of course, this is a company itself. This Techdavez is a company. It could be your company. Under the company, you have a lot of them, maybe cybersecurity, database team, this one team, developer team, everything. So maybe you only want to notify the DevOps guys, whenever the build happen. So you will go to the channel to do the configuration. So what you will do here is that, so again, you will see all these things directly from your phone, the same thing I'm looking at here. So if I go to this connector now, I click on connector, then I will allow it to load a little bit. Then I'll go to configure. I have Jenkins already right here. So I'll go to configure. So during configure, I'll give it a name, like any name, like Jenkins. Let me see if that will work. So I will hit create now. So we're trying to connect this team now to our Jenkins. That's what we're trying to do. So to give us this thing, which they call webhook. So, webhook is like, it's like tool that allow you to like integrate services together. They talk to each other. So it's very common there. So this is the URL you need to give Jenkins. So Jenkins, we know that you are trying to integrate. Again, when we start talking of Jenkins, I mentioned that Jenkins worked with what do you call it? Plugins. So there's a plugins that we have to integrate with our Jenkins before this can work. Then we give Jenkins this URL that, okay, we are trying to, so I copy it right now. So I copy it right now. So I'm just going to put it in my Jenkins when my Jenkins is up. So I'll go back to my Jenkins server. I think my Jenkins server is up and running. So I'll just connect directly from the terminal because I don't want to stress. So I'll connect directly from the terminal, from the browser. So again, you can use your SSH client. You can use your PuTTY, your Git Bash, anything. The main thing is just to connect, of course. So this is my Jenkins now. Oh, sorry, I'm not even trying to connect. I'm trying to access my Jenkins server, not connect, not SSH there. So I'm trying to access my Jenkins server on port 8080. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I would lose my distance. Okay, now. Let me see, connector. Because I just copied it now. I don't know if I think I need to paste it somewhere. Okay, let me just paste it in. Okay, so I'm just going to paste the URL here. Yeah, this the URL we're going to, because I'm going to copy another thing. That's why I'm just pasting it in. So just for reference purpose, nothing serious. So so let me access my Jenkins server now on port 8080, if you can remember, on port 8080. So this is my Jenkins. I'm going to sign in on my Jenkins server. So I'm going to do this. So so right now, I have this, I have my pipeline. This is the pipeline we're doing. This is another one. I was just playing with, this not a real pipeline like that. So don't get, matter of fact, so what we do here is that first thing you do is, go to manage Jenkins. If I go to manage Jenkins here, we're going to install a plugin. Again, Jenkins do most of all this integration. You remember when we're trying to integrate SonarQube, we install the plugins. When we integrate Tomcat server to our Jenkins, we also download the plugin. So everything you are doing on Jenkins is based on plugin. Plugin is like what give it extended functionality. So we can do a lot of stuff on this thing. These are this is the Artifactory. I downloaded this the last time. These are a lot of stuff. If I go to install, these are the one I install. A lot of plugins. Different plugins. It allows it to do so many things once you have that plugin. So I'm going to go to available now. Then I will search for Office 365 connector right here. So this is the one that will do the job. I will just mark this, then I will do install without restart. So I will install this plugin. Again, this is the plugin for the Office 365 connector. And this plugin will allow us to connect with Microsoft Teams. So I will do install without restart. So it's showing pending now, if you see. So it's downloading, then it's successfully downloading. So we are good now. So now let's integrate it with our pipeline. So this is a pipeline. Again, this is not the one we did. So matter of fact, I'll modify it because I just want to show you how it does. I don't have my Tomcat up, so this will probably fail. My Artifactory too, I don't think I have it up. So I think I'll just remove some step or whatever. I just leave it just to show you the notification. So if I go to configure right here, so I go to configure, you see this option here. This option was not there before. This option you're seeing right here, Office 365 connector. It's because of the plugin we installed, that give us this additional functionality to do this. Before we didn't have this option there. Now, because of the plugin we just downloaded, we have this option. So I will click on that. Then what you want to do here is add webhook. So you click on add webhook, and then you provide the URL. So the URL is the name that is the URL that I pasted. I copy from this thing, which is this guy here. So I just copy this. Make sure I get the exact URL. Go to my Jenkins again. So this is the URL I need to give Jenkins. So this URL will allow Jenkins to talk with Microsoft Teams. That's as simple as that. You don't need to stress about anything. You can give it a name like my team or whatever, So then if you go to this advanced option, you see a lot of things you can do. You can notify, you can send a notification when the build starts. So I will check that. So whenever they trigger a build, it will send the first notification. You can notify if someone about the build. I can check that. I can check any option here. You see a lot of options you can check and uncheck. Notify if it's successful, if the build was unstable, if the build failed. You can do a lot of things that you can check. So basically, those are what we just set up. Again, it's very easy. Just this link that you have to paste there, which we obtain from the Microsoft team. Then give it a name. Then check and uncheck whatever you want the team to know. You want to notify the whole team. We in this class now, we are DevOps team. We want to know what is going on our Jenkins server. You don't have to log into Jenkins every time to know. So that is the purpose of that. So I will hit save now. Then let me see my script. This is probably going to fail because I don't have this guy running now. I don't have some things. Even my Tomcat is not running. So it will probably fail there. It will still notify us. So I'm just going to click on build now. So if I click on build now, just to trigger build. So you see it's this thing. If you check your Microsoft team, you should get a notification maybe now, that something is going on your Jenkins. So let me go to team. Even if you check your own too, you see from here, it's already give us information right here that there's a build. If you check on your phone too, you see we have a build number. It said started by Kenneth. Again, in the real world, you are using a single Jenkins. It's not like it now that maybe all of you have the your Jenkins server running or whatever. So in the real world, it's only one Jenkins that everybody will be working with. So you have credential to log in there. Now it's telling the whole team that, okay, Kenneth started the build. They can click on this and it will take them directly to Jenkins. So when the build completed, it will also notify them that, okay, you see build number, the name of the pipeline, everything, all the information are there. The team will know that, okay, there's something going on in the Microsoft this thing. Let's go back to, so okay, it's still going. Then I think it was successful. For some reason, I think it skipped this thing. They're still building. I think it's not done yet. So, but again, these are just the basic this thing. So if I go back to my team now, yeah, it's not done yet. I don't know if you see the status says started. So once it's completed, it will say that's finished, or then it will give the status. Maybe the build was successful or the build failed or whatever. So I believe the build should fail because I don't even know why it deployed to. Okay, the Tomcat is, yeah. So but so if I check the build, I think it's I don't know. It will probably fail. I don't. So for some reason. So, but I'm just going to terminate this build because it's taking so much time. So I'm going to terminate it. Let me abort it. No, I'm going to abort it. Then you see it will. Yeah, so it should send a notification to team as well. Say build aborted. So assuming the build was successful, we also show that build status. So yeah, as a DevOps guy, working in the team, you get this notification. You try to see what happened to the build, why did it fail, who aborted it, or you get all those information real life, and these are very, very important in DevOps world. For like collaboration, for feedback. We call it a fast feedback loop. You can get like what is going on real time, without having to do this thing. So all these tools are very powerful in doing all these things, and you get all the notification real life without anything. If I click on this now, it will take me straight to my Jenkins dashboard, and I can see everything. Yeah, I don't know where it takes me to then again. So, but the main thing is, the main thing is, understanding the notification part and integrating it with this thing. So these are DevOps. If you check your phone or where you install the team, you get all this notification to, we give you what is going on here, which I believe. So it's very cool, it's very powerful, and it's something you should look into. So again, another thing we want to talk about with Jenkins is, okay, someone giving high five. Okay, yeah, nice one. So you can do all those nice stuff there. So but another thing is so let's go to our pipeline. I made some modification in the script. So I just want to talk briefly about parallel job. So what happened is that in situation, for example, these are pipeline now. We build, we test, we deploy, we do everything. So in most situations, you want to deploy to like maybe 3 different environments. Those could be different server. Again, in the real world, you're not deploying to one single server. Maybe you want to deploy to Artifactory. This one will deploy to Artifactory. Then this will deploy to Tomcat. For example, you may have 3 Tomcats running in different environments. One will be running in like staging, testing. They used to have different environment. That's what they used to call environments, like staging, production. We talked about it briefly, I believe, in a few classes back. So, you will want to deploy to those environments at the same time. So in most cases, if deploying to, like, for example, like one environment fail, because what we've been doing now, we've been running all this thing in series, in a series where they depend on each other. For example, if this stage fail now, if this stage fail, you will not be able to proceed to the next stage. So that's a series this thing. So then in some situation, you want to like deploy to 3 environments and you want to deploy at the same time. Again, 3 environment can be 3 different EC2 server that you want to deploy to. This could be a Tomcat 1, Tomcat 2, Tomcat 3, because they are different in different environments, and that's how they work. So you want to do operation like that in parallel, rather not in series. Here we've been doing everything in series, like pa. This has to pass before getting to the next stage. This must pass before the next stage. So again, especially if you are doing like deployment to different server, you don't want each of them to interfere with each other. You want everything to deploy differently to those 3 environments, independently. If this one fail, you shouldn't bother the other one. The other one should still be able to deploy. So, that's the concept of parallel job in Jenkins, parallel pipeline. And I'm going to show the centers for doing parallel job, and you see some of what how that works. So then we're going to do some demo with our lab, and so let me see if I go to okay, this is my Jenkins.
So can I say something? Yeah, I tried. I thought you were trying to deploy the Jenkins through that terminal, or maybe you are trying to use some syntax, some code through that terminal you open.
Okay, which terminal?
Like when you open the Git bash, I thought you're gonna enter some code like the way you used to deploy other. The way you used to deploy other stuff.
Through this thing.
Maybe
sudo
app.
Okay, update. Like here. Just push it directly. No, I'm not really doing that, because right now even this pipeline I'm running right now is different from the one we use. This let me show you. This pipeline now, the code is within the pipeline. You see the code right here. Like the one we're using this option, which we trigger from the GitHub. This we trigger from, but it's right here because I'm just kind of like playing around with this thing. This artifact stuff is really not working the way I want it to work. But it's I'm just trying to. This is not like the main pipeline and script actually. So I just wanted to show this for like a parallel job to like deploy to with a parallel job. So this is the other pipeline that we are using, this demo pipeline. Then if I go to configure right here, you see that there's nothing here. There's nothing there because we are getting the build directly from GitHub, from this guy. So, but if I commit this one now or do anything, it will trigger a build, and everything will be automated, just like you are saying. But the other one, again, I need to spin up a lot of environment. My SonarQube is not up and running at this point, so this will not work. I have to spin up my SonarQube again. I have to spin up the Tomcat, the artifact deployment. For the main pipeline. So I'm not really using this. I'm using this one I call another pipe, which is just a basic. So I'm going to modify the script actually. So I just want to show the way parallel job works. So before that, there's a plugin they call Blue Ocean, which gives like Jenkins some additional UI interface. It allows you to view Jenkins pipeline in a better way. I will show you. Let me just right click on this and then show you what to give you. So it's a very cool interface. Sometimes better than this. So you see this now, because this is a plugin I installed that allow me to do this. So this you see the view. It's kind of different from this one. And when you are running something like a parallel job, you're not going to see it really directly. This is a parallel job. That's why even though this failed, this other one could succeed. But you not get a good view from here. I don't know a way to get a good view for a parallel job directly from here. But I installed this plugin they call Blue Ocean. It will give you that additional functionality to do that. You don't need to do anything than to just install the plugin and, that's it. Just go to your manage Jenkins here, go to manage plugins. Then here you can search for Blue Ocean. Blue Ocean is the name. Blue Ocean, click on it, install without restart, that's it. So you will have that option, to view Jenkins in a way like this. So this is what I'm talking about parallel job. Now we do Git, here, these are stage, you guys, you remember all these stages. But when we are doing the deployment, this is the name I gave it. I said deploy to environments. So the first environment is deploy to artifacts. The second one, deploy to Tomcat. I can have another one. It will be like a parallel job here too. So these three will run simultaneously. These two stages will deploy simultaneously. If this fail, this can still be successful. They are completely independent. These are series. You see them, they are serial. This depends on this. This has to pass before the next one. But in parallel job, I just want to deploy to those environments. If one of them fail, I don't want it to interfere with the other one. And also to save time. You don't, again, in a real environment, this could take like 15 minutes to be running the whole process, or maybe 10 minutes or even more than that. So, you want to save time with all this parallel job. So you can do the deployment at a shot. So everything will run the same time. We deploy to this, deploy to this. You can have like 4 stages here, 4 different places you want to deploy to. So again, this just gives us a better view of Jenkins pipeline. This is still the same thing as what we are doing here. It's still the same thing as this pipeline you are seeing there. You just get a clearer view with this plugin, which they call, you see, once you install the plugin, you see this option that says open Blue Ocean. So if you open that, that's when you come to places like this, and it's very cool. It's very easy to use. You can troubleshoot any stage, and you get some good view of the Jenkins pipeline. So let me modify this pipeline now. So I go to configure. Again, I just have the scripts within the code because I'm just kind of like play with the parallel job. And this is the syntax for parallel. So it says that, okay, let me do this. Let me go to this pipeline syntax. So if I do, okay, no. If I do, let me see. No, not this. I think it's a declarative pipeline generator. If I go to stage, I think, then I click here, then I go to parallel stages. For example, you're trying to see how parallel stages is. So I can say deploy, this is the name I want to give my parallel to EC2 servers, because I want to deploy to many EC2 servers. EC2 servers, servers, stuff like this. You can give it any name. So if I click on generate now, so it tells me that this is the syntax I need to use, and this one is a comment just telling you that one or more stages need to be included within this block. So these are where you put all the stages you want to run in parallel. All the stage, like this stage, these are stages. Sorry, basically these are stages. This thing you are seeing here, these are stages. So I can include all these things within the parallel. I can include this in the parallel, include another one within the parallel, this thing then, so that's the syntax I use right here. You see the stage at line 33, then the parallel, the same syntax as this. Then I just give it to this name. So I give it this name, that deploy to environment. I can say deploy to, different environment. You can give it any name, let me say different environments. So again, this is the syntax, then these are the steps to do the deployment. So matter of fact, I will just give it a very basic steps. I'll clean this up. So I will say SH. So I will say SH. If you remember, this is the syntax to no, I will use echo deploy to artifacts. Again, this is not our read pipeline. So this is a stage now. Yeah, this is a stage. So I can replicate this stage, the stage end here. So let me delete right here for all the way down. So what I will do now is that in my parallel job now, I only have one stage. So let me copy this. So I'll copy this, then I'll come to line 40. Then I will do V right here. Then I'll say this deploy to Tomcat 1, Tomcat 1. And then I will come down again. I'll say Control V, deploy to, I will just show you how this thing would look like. Tomcat 2. Again, this will be real script that will do the deployment. So echo deploy to, this is artifacts deploy to Tomcat 1. So again, echo is just to print. So echo deploy to Tom 2, again, echo is just to print it. So now I have this, but I still need to close this thing, because if you look at this last one, let me just show you some of the arc you can see to figure out this thing. So if I click on this, it tells me that this close here. I need to close all this thing. I need to close this. I need to close this. They are not closed now. So, this will throw me error, so I will just add this thing now. So it tells me that I close the brackets now. I close this guy. I still need to close this. So I will still enter another one. So now I close this, but I need to close the big pipeline, which is this. Let me see. I need to close these stages. Everything is in these stages. Then everything is inside this pipeline. So I still need 2 more to add. So I will hit enter. I will add 1 more. Then I will hit enter. I will add another one. So now if I click on this one now, the last one, it will give me the equivalent. Let me see. If I go all the way up, yeah, it tells me that I close it on the last one. So, I have everything closed up now. Again, these are just some kind of, again, don't stress too much if you really don't understand this syntax for now. But I believe this should work actually. I believe we cover everything. Let me see what happened. So if I click on build now, if I trigger build, then we see what is going to happen to our pipeline. Hopefully it doesn't fail. Okay, so let me go to the blue ocean again and just open it in another tab so that to see a better view. Oh, it's run too quickly. So this is it. So you see, these are the stages. So, the build, the test, deploy, then you see we deploy to 2 Tomcats, then 1 Artifactory. This should be Artifactory. So, we deploy to this, and these 3, they run in parallel because of the syntax we use. We tell it, instead of doing it serially, these 3, they basically run the same time. And if any of them fail for some reason, the other one will still go ahead and run successfully. So again, just to understand some of the concept of parallel job in Jenkins, but our Jenkins pipeline worked, and then we are able to deploy. Again, in real life, we have similar stuff like this. You're not deploying to one server in the distance. They will deploy to different, because they will test it out in some environments like staging, pre-prod, and all those stuff. So you want to deploy in those things. You want to deploy to artifacts too. So you want to do everything, and then again, this is just the concept, just to understand how parallel job works, and it's because of what we use here. This is just the syntax parallel. Then I put all the stages within the parallel. So these are the stages I put within the parallel: 1, 2, 3. Again, this open here, close here, close here. Once you have open curly braces here, it has to close somewhere. So just know that. Then we have this one that opens in line. It has to close. It's closed here. So if you have anyone that doesn't close for some reason, so you have to be very conscious on how you do some of all those things. So again, don't too bother much about trying to just understand some of all these basic concepts. I know this look ugly, but this basically just the main thing that can give you error here is that if you omit some of all these things, it will give you error. It doesn't really follow indentation like that. So that's why it could be messy and it still work. But basically, this parallel is what we are seeing here. And the parallel covers all these 3 stages, 1, 2, 3. So, and that's why you see that from this, from this 1, 2, 3. So these are the parallel, and everything is inside this thing that says parallel. Everything is just like their parents, it's like their parent. This one is like the parent of everything you're seeing. Just know some of all the syntax, and it opens right here in line 34. Where my mouse it closes at line 50. That's where you see these things surrounding the curly braces. But again, we're not doing anything. There's no serious code we are running. Just echo. Echo is just to print. Nothing. This thing. If I click on this, you see, print message. This is the message that I print. Print message. If I click on it, this is the message that I print. Then this one, it prints, is a print message as well. This is the message I asked it to print. It could be a real script you are putting right there. So then, yeah. Any question, guys, so far? Yeah, I think someone is talking. I can't hear you.
No question.
Again, if we go to our team now, we should see another notification. You see a cool sign now. It says build success. It gives us that build was successful. It notifies us again that I started another job in Jenkins. Build number is 25. Then you see the green sign there that it was successful. Everybody will be happy with this. The team will get this notification. Let me tag myself. And so, yeah, the team will get the notification, and everybody will see the update, what is going on. These things are very, very powerful and very important in the real life world, with collaboration and everything. So then, what I also want to show is briefly, I want to talk about some AWS services that we've not really talked about. And again, I encourage you guys to, check out all those AWS courses. They treat all these things very well, way better than I could. But again, you could check out Open this Blue Ocean, to get something like this. It's very cool. Yeah, I've seen it a lot in some places. But some people prefer to. Again, you see this, it seems like they are in series. That's why I don't really like this syntax, this kind of user interface. It looks like these three, they run separately, whereas they kind of run the same time. It looks like this one run first, before this, then before this. But in real life, this is how they run. They run in parallel, 3 of them. So, and that's why I kind of try to get this user interface so that you can see it in a clearer way, how parallel job works in Jenkins. Again, we're going to, I want to talk about some AWS services, talk about auto scaling, and I want to talk about AMI, which is Amazon Machine Image, so basically what Image does is, I will do like a demo on auto scaling. We talk about cloud, why cloud is important, why we use cloud is getting crazy in the market and stuff. One of the big features of cloud, apart from maybe money saving, and you can run server, like right now I have 4 server, 5 server running. If I want to do that, I have to buy each of the server in the real life if I'm not working on cloud. These are server. This could be like a Microsoft server or anything. So, but these are servers independently running. I install different application there. I stop it, I terminate it whenever I like. You can't do that if you want to like buy server on your own, unless you are running like VirtualBox or whatever, and you must really have a lot of memory to do this, to be running Ubuntu in 5 different five different VirtualBox. You must be your computer must be very heavy in the capacity. So cloud is very flexible. You can do all this thing. I can decide I'm done with all this thing, terminate it, everything, and again, these are like computers we are seeing right here, one by one, and it's so one of the big features of cloud, I would like to talk about is auto scaling, ability to scale, scaling. So there are 2 types of scaling. I think I'm supposed to make a PowerPoint, brief PowerPoint on that. Some of you that have been studying for AWS, know some of all these things. There's one they call scale up, which they call horizontal scaling, then vertical scaling, then yes, horizontal scaling. Again, vertical, vertical is like, it's like straight up. Then horizontal is like, flat like this. So vertical scaling, the difference is that, again, these are some interview questions that, I've got a lot, these are very important concepts to understand. Vertical scaling, basically, okay, let me start with horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling, sorry. So basically, you are running your server, maybe on-premises server, you're not on the cloud or whatever. So, you have so much traffic on your website. Again, your website can be running on Tomcat server, on maybe you buy a machine at home, but it gets to some point, your website becomes so popular that everybody, different part of the world, they are visiting, eating it up. Again, your memory, it's your CPU utilization is getting high, memory usage is going up. So you can't. What happens is that at some point, it's where when your CPU utilization gets so high, you get latency, your computer will be slow. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced when you open maybe 20 tabs on your browser, you have different applications running, different software running on your computer. Everything because will start slowing down. You will be clicking some things, you will not respond. The same thing happens in all these servers that host websites. So what happens is that if you are doing like a vertical scaling, what you have to do is like you have to go and buy more capacity, maybe more RAM or more like a CPU, to like augment it. David does all those stuff very well. You can buy more capacity to your computer, to just bring it up. Maybe you have like 4 core memory or whatever. Now you're adding another 4 CPU this thing to it just to increase the capacity of that server, and that is vertical scaling. But it will get to a stage where it will be, it's not a best way to really scale, but that's what they call scale up or vertical scaling. So you are adding capacity to your computer. You went to the market, you buy more RAM, more memory, just to serve you better, and not for your so that your server will not be down. So that's vertical scaling. Then you buy more, but it's not the best way. So cloud basically kind of encourage more, like just like here too. For example, maybe this T2 micro, I noticed that my Jenkins server is going too slow, or maybe, okay, let me say this Jenkins is going too slow. I don't, again, you see the instant type I'm using, T2 small. I noticed that this thing is going too slow. I can't, do some basic thing I have to do because of the memory or whatever. So I can come here and say that, okay, action, go to action, go to instance settings. Then I'll say change instant type. So immediately, instead of T2 small, I can say, okay, T2 small doesn't serve me again. I will go to, because T2 small, I think it's like 2 gigabytes of memory. Then the CPU is maybe 2 or 4, I don't know. So I want to like do T2 small is too, doesn't serve me again. I want to do T3 large. T3 large, this is a bigger capacity. So this is scaling up or vertical scaling, So another way you can do this, which is kind of like the best way to like scale, is horizontal scaling. I can say, okay, I want to add more server. I want to add 5 more server to support my Jenkins. So instead of my Jenkins to be running on a single server, I want the job to be splitted within 5 servers. So I can come here and launch like 3 additional 2 server or maybe 4 servers just to, and they put Jenkins on everything, so that when people start coming to my website, the load will be spread across all the server running Jenkins. It will not be the load will not be too much on a single server, and that's what auto scaling is all about. Auto scaling, you can specify that, okay, I want this, I want that. So matter of fact, let's see what we can do with auto scaling. But first of all, let me explain what AMI is in Jenkins. AMI is Amazon Machine Image. So image in a server or in this thing world is like just like the image, taking a picture, a snapshot. They call it a snapshot sometimes. So I can take a snapshot of this server, and at that point, everything that's on that server will be 100% the same thing as the image. If you remember when we used to launch instance, which I'm going to show right now again, you see this option that select image. That's one of the first options. So the image is where we select Ubuntu. There are a lot of image you can use on AWS, a lot, different machine learning, some for, different things, crypto, you see the image. So the image comes with some kind of like pre-installed program already. That's, again, let me go to launch instance and just show you what I'm talking about. You see the first image thing you see, choose Amazon Machine Image, this AMI. This is very key, because when we get to Techdavez, we'll be using all this image. So here you can, you see a lot of them. This is the AMI used to start with this. This is for Mac OS. These are images. I can go to Amazon Marketplace. They have a lot of them, different, depending on what you want to use. You can filter, maybe data science. So if you launch any of this image based on some of these requirements, it will come with a lot of pre-installed program. Some of it will be like, for example, you are doing high performance computing. You see some of the image you can use. You can select some of them, then you build your server from it. Image is very, then you can have custom image. Right now, I don't have anything. That's why right here, you see nothing. We're going to create an image, then we're going to launch an instance from that image. You see what I'm talking about? Then community, these are what's like third party for Amazon, they created all this image, it's all this Ubuntu, you see Windows Server, these are image based, and you can use this image to launch a server. You use it to launch a server, or you can copy it, you can do a lot of things with it. So you can have a custom image, then any server you launch with that image, we have everything the same way. Let me show you what I'm talking about briefly. So for example, this is our Jenkins server, guys. This is our Jenkins server running. So, but what happened is that I don't want to be installing Jenkins every time I launch a Jenkins. I want to like have a specific image for Jenkins, that whenever I just want to launch instance, I just select the image and Jenkins will be there automatically. So you remember, guys, on this server, we install Jenkins with a lot of command and all those stuff. Now what I want to do is that I want to take a snapshot. This is a Jenkins running, I'm not doing anything. I want to take a snapshot. I want to take the image of this Jenkins, which is a custom image now, because we already installed some application there and stuff like that. So if I go to action, right, then I go to image and template option here. then I say create image. It's as simple as that. So if I do create image right here, I give it a name like, okay, Jenkins, or my Jenkins image, it could be any name, my Jenkins, because this image should have Jenkins installed with it. Then you can give it any cool option, any cool description. You can do no reboots or whatever. Don't really bother about that. You can add a tag, to your image. Let me say name Jenkins from image. Let me just do something. So you can add a tag, or you can, if you don't add a tag, it will just open by itself. Then let me just leave tag. Tagging is very cool too. So again, you don't have to do anything. Just create image. Right click on that. Then from the top bottom right here, click on create image. So let's see what happens when we create it. Again, we're not creating any instance, just image. So if you go to the left side there, you see images. If I click on AMI right here, which is again the images, I should see the image I created just now. So, and the name. So I'm looking at the image right now. It says that it's pending. You see, this is the image I just created. It's pending, it's on again, in an organization, they can have a custom image like that. I've worked in, a project, they call it golden image. So they have that image with a lot of things installed on that particular image. You can install so many things. So anybody can just launch the image and everything is automatically on that server. So let's allow this guy to, be ready. Instead of pending, you see the status is pending, but the image is getting created. This is the image AMI ID. If I give you this image AMI ID, you can spin up a Jenkins server within a second, with this image. So far, you are within this region, because image is region specific. So again, these are what you will learn when you are doing AWS. These are Amazon, they're very cool service. There are tools that you can use to build a custom image. One of them, they call it Packer, which is very popular by HashiCorp. The same people that owns Terraform also runs Packer. Packer is very cool. You can build a custom image with it and just put it on AWS. And then, but again, these are our private image. And again, we are still creating it. It takes a few time. So what we're going to do now is that, again, this is no instance. We just take a snapshot of this. So this is what we call snapshots. We basically just take a picture of this Jenkins server running. This is a Jenkins. We have a Jenkins running on this server. I hope you guys remember that. Then we are building our image from it. So again, our image is still loading. But we allow it to load. See what we can do with that. How come I have 4 server running? Yeah, so but yeah, I only have 1 server running. So but yeah, let's see. Let's just wait for our image to get to again, you can create different image depending on a lot of things, a lot of requirement, what you want or whatever. And then I don't know where this one stopped. But this is I can go to Tomcats as well. Let me see. That's my okay. Well, if I go to my Tomcat now, I'll just show this then. Again, I just want to show you this thing. Oh my God, it's taking so long. So yeah, because we're going to, when we get to Terraform, we'll be using this AMI, and I want you to really understand it. And some of the other, I wanted to demo auto scaling as well to see how auto scaling work and the other stuff. But those should be, I think our image should be up now. It's not up. But basically what we can now do is that, okay, if we go to our launch instance, so again, you are launching your instance, I can give you the image name, then you can launch instance from it, and you see everything. If I go to instance now, then instead of me going down here and selecting Ubuntu in the choose image, I'll go to my image, then I will select the image I created. Again, the image is still pending. So just have to be a little bit patient with that. Let's see. No, because this is basically like creating a template for that this thing, so it will kind of take some time. Let me see. Again, we can take a snapshot of any of this. It doesn't have to be Jenkins. It could be Tomcat. I can take a snapshot, then name it. Then I can have a lot of image. Then if any of the team member come to the login to the AWS account, they want to create an instance, they just have to create it from that image. And Jenkins, everything we install on that server will be there. Everything, Jenkins will be there. Java that we install, everything, all the installation we did on that server will be from that new server that we used. It's taking too long. I don't know why it's taking so long. I just see. Yeah, let's just wait for a couple of seconds, guys. Sorry about that. Because next class, I want us to jump into Terraform, and we'll be doing some of all these things with Terraform. Okay, it's available now. Okay, finally, the image shows it's available. So, anyone can use it in the team. Again, in the team, everybody is using the same AWS account. So, they will see this image there. They can do everything with it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to launch instance. So I go to launch instance. Then right here, I will select my AMI. So this is the AMI I just created now. You see the name, my Jenkins, this is the name. So this is the one I'll select. I'll not select the Ubuntu I've been using. So I'll just click on this, select. Then I will leave it as T2 micro. It's Jenkins, so it shouldn't. So I will leave everything here as default. Then I will nest it. Then for Jenkins, it runs on port 800. So I will use this. So I will launch it right now. So then I will use this skip here, which I think I have. So so now we launch this instance again. We didn't select Ubuntu the way we used to do or anything. So we just, this is it, it's pending now. So we launch it based on the image that we produced, we generating now. So when this is ready now, so okay, this is the IP address, public IP address. Hopefully it's up and running. If I do Control V 8080 here, so we should have Jenkins running on this server. We remember, guys, we didn't install Jenkins on this server manually. We just build it from the image that we created. So the server is not available yet. So let's just wait for some time. It's depending. Yeah, let's see. And yeah, okay, the image is running now. So I said the server is running. Again, we built this server from this image, from the image that we created. So right now, we should be able to access our Jenkins server if everything goes well. So do I get the right IP address? For some reason we couldn't get the return. Let me connect with it and see. Ubuntu not connecting to root user. Then let me see. 0, yeah, okay, Jenkins is there. So you see Jenkins now starting, again, this is the new server that we just launched right here, from the image. I didn't do any Jenkins installation on it. I just run the server based on the image I created. So, again, guys read more about Jenkins AMI and, understand some of all those basic things. From a click, Jenkins is up and running. If I do admin here, which is my username, again, this is a new server, no installation done on this, nothing. You see the same thing we have from the previous. This is the other Jenkins I have. You see the same thing is there, and this is what image is all about. I took a snapshot of it, and it's everything is there. So all the job that I ran, everything. So it's I can run like 10 different servers based on this image and everything. We have Jenkins installed with all the settings, all the configuration. So these things are very powerful, and in the real world, these are the real things you do on AWS. So again, this is the one I just created now. I didn't do any installation, nothing. I just use the image I created, and that's it. So we'll be building on that as well from next class, going to Terraform. And I want you to really understand the concept very well. I think I have like this thing there. I'll copy this and put it in the forum for you guys to check. So read more about AMI, understand what they do. Yeah, but again, this is just a basic demo just to show how this thing works. Any question, guys? I know we did it. We did so many things from this. Little bit.
I want to ask about that Terraform we have in a class. Are we going to be building on the one we've learned, or is there a different aspect entirely?
Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's kind of different completely, because we're not this time we're not doing CI/CD anymore. Although we can, I don't know if we can still use Jenkins to spin up Terraform, but it's completely different actually. Yeah, different concepts, different this thing. Then I will say some AWS knowledge is very important to especially because we be using Terraform to deploy AWS service. Instead of what this clicking we are doing, click this, click that, we're not going to do any clicking. We're just going to write the script, then we do Terraform apply, and everything will be up on AWS. So it's very powerful, very, very powerful in the industry, and very popular. So yeah, but yeah, we won't be doing pipeline, for now again, especially Jenkins. So I think we pretty much cover a lot on Jenkins pipeline. We also send the final scripts to everyone with the parallel step stages, so that you see you can play around with it or do anything. So also again, always check this. The team, will be putting information there. You go to file right here. We're going to be, updating it, put script, lab. We can still create some other file, maybe videos or whatever. You can do a lot of things there. So, learn how to collaborate, how to do things. These are very important things to learn. So, but again, the key takeaway here is, how we integrated our Jenkins with this, and we see the notification coming directly, and also again read more on AMI on AWS. It's a very powerful tool. So any question, guys? Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So any question, guys? I think there's no more question.